So the most important part about French toast is going to be the bread. We want to slice it fairly thickly, about 1.5 to 2 inches thick. And once we get that all done, we're going to go ahead and set these on a wire or baking rack so they can dry out a little bit and they'll be able to soak up our custard. While we're doing that, we're going to get the sweet potatoes ready. You can use a potato peeler, but I like to do it old school. Go ahead and cut each potato in half, slice down the side to get all the skin off. Once we've got that off, we're just going to go ahead and give it a rough chop. In a medium saucepan, we're going to go ahead and add our potatoes, 1/4 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. You can use vanilla extract. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Normally I would be using freshly grated nutmeg, but I forgot my nutmeg. Go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of butter. Could be more graceful than I was. And the zest of 1/2 an orange. We're going to cover this on medium-high heat and bring it to a light simmer, and then we're going to bring it down to low. This should take about 10 to 15 minutes until the potatoes get soft. After our potatoes are done and they're all soft, we're going to go ahead and take them off the heat, set them aside, and prepare the rest of our filling. So for the other part of our filling, we're going to use mascarpone cream cheese. Mascarpone cheese is a little bit softer than traditional cream cheese. You can use regular if that's all you have. If you can't find it, it's about 12 ounces. We're also going to go ahead and add in a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Then we're going to add some more of our vanilla bean paste, about 1 teaspoon here. Again, you can use regular vanilla extract. This just has vanilla beans. It's a little bit thicker. My opinion, it's a little richer. And then we're going to zest 1/4 of a lime. This is going to give it some brightness. After we've got that zest in there, go ahead and use your whisk. If it seems like it's a little thick, remember we're going to have to pipe this in between the French toast, so you can add a little bit of heavy cream or milk to thin it out a bit. Start with a tablespoon or 2 at a time. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. Alright, and then we're going to set this aside and prepare to assemble our French toast. Now a piping bag works best for this. I use a cup and just put it down the bag like so. We're going to take our cooled sweet potato filling, press it up against one side of the bag. Trust me on this, because you want it to be even. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just go ahead and pack it on one side, and then we're going to take our mascarpone filling and do the same thing on the other side. Get down in there and go ahead and make sure it's filled all the way in there, because we got to stuff all of our French toast. Now here's the reason why we cut our bread so thick. I'm using a serrated knife here. You can use another type, but a serrated knife really lets you saw through this bread. We're trying to make a pocket for our filling. Start shallow and just go a little bit deeper. You don't want to cut through either side of the bread. Looks like we've got what we need right here. Now time to stuff our French toast. You want to start all the way in the bottom and just go back and forth, coming up a little bit. It's okay if a little bit spills out. You can actually make these a day in advance. Just wrap them in plastic wrap, put them in the fridge. But we're gonna go ahead and get these guys done today. Speaking of custard, so we're gonna start off with 4 whole eggs. To that we're gonna add 2 cups of heavy cream, teaspoon of Disarono, that's an amaretto, another teaspoon of Bailey's, teaspoon of vanilla bean paste, teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Salt to everything. We're gonna add a pinch of salt, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, and give this a whisk. Now for the assembly. We want to go ahead and give our bread a nice dunk in this custard. Make sure we get all sides since we've got really thick pieces here. You can actually, if you wanted to, put these in a baking dish and bake them for 325, but we're gonna make these old school. We're gonna preheat our skillet to a medium heat and add about a tablespoon of butter. Get it nice and coated. And now we're gonna add our French toast. We wanna go ahead and cook this for about 2 minutes on the first side. We're gonna take a peek, see how it's looking. Yeah, go ahead and give it a flip. Yeah, that's nice. Now since we have such a big piece here, we're gonna go ahead and finish this in the oven at about 325 for 6 to 8 minutes. All right, our French toast is ready. We're just gonna cut it in diagonal because that is the only way to serve French toast. Looking good. All right, we're just gonna dress this up with some freshly grated orange zest and some good maple syrup. And there we've got our mascarpone sweet potato stuffed French toast. Enjoy.